Hello, hello. Welcome to Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie. I'm Julie Davison, and this one way or the other is my beautiful mother, Susan LaCroix. Well, whichever way it looks on screen, it's always like the opposite way. Like on camera, it somehow reverses. Anyway, I'm not going to try to point the right way. Here you are. We're so excited that you're joining us for today's episode. Sunday Stamping is our weekly video series where Mom and I share projects using Stampin' Up! Products using the same suite. So it's so much fun. And today is one of those days where it's like a surprise and we don't know what each other has created until we see it live right along with you guys. So I'm excited, Mom, to see what you've crafted and what you've created. The day this video is airing is Sunday, May 21st. We did film this ahead of time, as we usually do, but this time especially because today is the day that you'll, Mom, be getting on the boat for the Norway incentive trip with Stampin' Up. Little asterisk that is not a typical accomplishment, and that it takes a lot of hard work to earn an incentive trip. We gotta include that disclaimer in there. And so all that hard work is being rewarded, and you're gonna get to take this amazing trip. So you're leaving out of, is it Southampton?
Southampton, yes. Yeah.
And you don't know because you're not back yet, but we assume that you've had a lovely visit so far in England. You kind of went all around to just some different places, right?
Yes. We left Heathrow Airport, or we're leaving. I don't even know how to what
We're talking about it in the future, but also as if it's past tense.
because it is fastest. And we're going up to Coventry, which to visit a friend who lives up there. And then we're going to go south into the Cotswolds area, which is kind of the center of the country. And it's known previously, and centuries ago, for the wool that they made there.
Oh,
And there's other things too, I think, that we'll learn about, but it's supposed to be just beautiful countryside, and I'll explain a little more as I show the product that we're using today. But we're also going to take a quick visit. We're going to spend a day in Bath and then down to Stonehenge, or up to Stonehenge. I have to look at a map because your sister Yvonne is going to be with us, and she hasn't been to those two places, and so we wanted her to experience that. So we're really excited that the scenery is supposed to be beautiful. It's supposed to be very, a lot of nice vistas of fields and flowers and cute little towns. And I'm really excited to explore that area of England, because we've been to London a couple times, and I love London, don't get me wrong, and I go back there in a heartbeat, but we wanted to do something a little bit different. So that's why we're going there. And then we take the car back to Heathrow and then jump on the shuttle. Well, get onto the shuttle and then go back south towards Southampton to the port and get on the ship. So depending on when this airs, I don't know if we'll be under sail or underway or not. This is 1 o'clock Eastern
no,
time.
it's so hard with the time difference.
So
Like you,
when this airs, we should be on our way to Norway. I think we're depart about 4 in the afternoon from Southampton. So local time there. So anyway, yeah. So we're excited, and we can't wait. We can't wait to share and take photos, and just look for some little special little trinkets to bring back to those who weren't able to go.
oh.
So other than that, when we get back then in another week, we'll be heading back to Champagne for
Yes.
Claire's graduation. So I'm excited about that. I'm so very proud of this girl. She's just been remarkable through her high school career.
Oh, I am too. It's gonna be so much fun, and I can't wait to hear all about your trip. Well, I think we should move the camera over to your desktop so you can share what we're showing, because this suite really reminds me of the English countryside, and so I think it's kind of fitting that we're sharing this suite today. So let's let you introduce.
Yes. The Countryside Inn Suite up found on pages 62 and 63 in your catalog. And it is it's really interesting, and I'll show you in some of the designer series paper why it reminds me, at least, of England, besides the name, Countryside Inn. But let's just kind of explore this. This is the stamp set. It's one stamp. It's like a background stamp, but you can do so much more with it. So I'm going to move the catalog out of the way. Well, first, let me just point out the colors. Shades of blue. You'll notice that Julie and I are both wearing shades of blue today. So balmy blue, misty moonlight, boho blue, and night of navy. So there's all that combination of colors in here. So I'm going to set this aside for a moment. And here is that background stamp. I brought out both the stamp set thing so you can see the detail on here, but then this is the stamp. So there's a lot you can do with it because there's all these different layers. And what makes it easy to do are these dies. Because you get all these different sizes that coordinate, as you will see, with the image. So if you want just like the center part of it, you can die cut that out and then save the rest for another project. So there's just a lot you can do. So this cute little thing too. I like that. I don't know what I would do with it yet, but I'll come up with something. And then it also comes with an embossing folder. And oh, I should have put this under something dark so you can see it. Well, here.
You can kind
Let
of
me
see
just.
it.
Oh, okay, good. So there's this like center pattern and then some leaves and swirls and stuff around there. So let's look at this beautiful paper. And I'm going to kind of go through it more slowly than normally. It is a 12 by 12, but I cut it down to show you. So this piece right here actually fits this embossing folder. So you can line up that image there with it.
I love that.
Isn't that clever? Yeah, I like that a lot. And then this one is got little birds on it. So I don't know if these are, I'm not sure what kind of birds. They almost look like doves. This is one of my favorite patterns. And I'll explain why in a minute. And here's some bunnies. Or hares. I'm not sure what they are. But there's a lot of hunting, that back in the day, people would go to their countryside manor and they would host fox hunts. And so this paper has some little foxes on it. I always felt sorry for the foxes.
Aw.
And the woods. There's a lot of like woodsy areas. I think of Sherwood Forest and Robin Hood in there. But and then the back side of these, as has been typical with Stampin' Up, is a more not neutral per se, but more of a background that you could use or an accent piece.
More subdued, a subtle pattern.
Thank you. That's it, Julie. A more subdued pattern, but gorgeous nonetheless. Sometimes it's hard to decide. So I want to pull this piece out again because there is, as much as we're going to concentrate on the Countryside Inn suite, on the very next page is a stamp set called Lasting Joy. I need to get it in camera so you can see it. Lasting Joy. And pull it out here. And so these flowers, I don't think that it's not part of the suite, but it sure seems to me it's meant to coordinate with it because look at the shapes of these flowers. I don't know if you can see it on camera. Those in the leaves here is this leaf right there.
Yeah.
This little patch of flowers, kind of goes with that little patch of flowers. So this is a great coordinating stamp set to go with the countryside. And so it's got, some flower images and leaf images. It's also got some beautiful sentiments and greetings. So, take advantage of that too. And if you're is interested in the countryside in this, I think a lot of people will be. I sold a few of these at Hostess Club last month. Don't forget to include that little stamp set. It's $20 and it'll be a great complement or supplement to this suite. So
Absolutely. I was just looking back at the catalog, and all the catalog samples on page 62 use that stamp set because the countryside corners doesn't have any,
yes,
words or anything. So yeah,
yeah,
it matches so beautifully. A nice
it does.
companion stamp set.
There you go. Companions. Julie, are you ready to share your project?
I am. Let me switch the camera over. Here we go. I was kind of intimidated by the thought of this giant stamp. But like you said, Mom, you can cut it apart and make frames or cut apart and just use part of it as a label. You can ink up strategically if you wanted to. You could just ink up one and have one big frame all around. But it is one giant stamp, and then the dies that coordinate are really awesome. Well, I'm going to stamp it first, and then we'll talk about the measurements for the card. So I'm going to use the navy ink, and I'm stamping on boho blue cardstock. Boho blue is one of the new in colors, along with copper clay, wild wheat, pebbled path, and moody mauve. So I'm going right in the middle on this big stamp. And oh, that actually turned out pretty well. I'm gonna take my dies and die cut. Now the nested dies, you can, if you wanted to, use two at the same time. I would use like a sticky note or something to kind of hold them in place. But the concept artist that we talked to at the home office was saying that it wasn't really intended to do like all the dies at the same time. Like your die cutting machine is not really meant to handle it like that, but two dies at once to die cut any kind of frame you want. I'm going to use this one to die cut the blue and this one to die cut a piece of white. And by the magic of TV, I have done that. So this is the piece that I'm using on my card today, and I will layer the label on top the white one. And this I'm just going to save for another project. And like you said, we can just use that kind of as a frame or cut different pieces from it to use on a later project. So love nested dies and the way they layer together. So this is kind of a fun shape, a little bit different than we've had in the past. I like the angled corners. All right, let me talk about the other pieces that I have for the card. So my card base is just a single 4¼ by 5½ piece of cardstock. So this is a quarter sheet of cardstock. And then I have a piece of your favorite designer paper, Mom. This one is 3½ inches by 7½ inches. And I've scored at 4¾ So the score line is over here. And so it's going to be like this on the front of the card. And then I have a piece of white cardstock that's 2½ inches by 3¾ inches. And that is going to be for the inside of our card. So this card layout is meant to sort of be a little non-traditional. We're just going to have that be the inside, and it's going to be on a card base. Now, if you don't like that, if you want more space to write a message, you could put it on a full card size, but I'm just using the card front, if you will, for this card. This is a layout that I did with our team. We do a stamp along every month. And so this is the layout that we did in April. It's kind of a fun project inspired by a card I saw from Kelly Atchison. I have punched out already some pieces using the bow punch, and I forget the name of this one, but the flowers. It goes with the Petal Park. It's the pet. Oh, that's actually the name of it. Petal Park is the name of the punch. Petal Park punch, and it's got 3 flowers and the leaf. And so I punched out the small flower and also the bow. Oh gosh, I always mess that up. Bow punch.
let me
Is
look.
that?
It's the bow, BOUGH, punch.
I always like want to call it bow instead of bow. I don't know why. I just have just have problems with that word.
And to be totally accurate, it's the Petal Park Builder.
Okay, Petal Park Builder Punch. Well, I thought that the imagery really matched well with this designer paper. And so I'm going to use those die cuts. So we're going to do some more stamping. The colors we're using are the Night of Navy and the Boho Blue. So I'm going to start with the navy. And, well, actually, I'll open them both. On the white label, I'm going to stamp "I'm so sorry" in the lighter blue. And then in the darker blue, I'm going to stamp "You're going through this." I'm so sorry you're going through this. I love that this set really has a lot of like encouraging words, because sometimes when someone's going through something, you just don't know what to say. And so I think this is sort of the perfect sentiment. I'm so sorry you're going through this. And then on the inside, it's going to say, "Thinking of you." My very favorite all-time sentiment right there. Thinking of you. On the inside, I'm going to stamp those coordinating flowers from the Lasting Joy stamp set. And then the flowers that go with the stems, I'm going to do that in the boho blue. Trying to get that lined up. And one more stamp. This is going to be for the center of that punched flower. Since the stamp set doesn't necessarily coordinate with the punch, there wasn't necessarily like a flower to punch out, but I just added that to the center just to kind of make a center of the flower. So we're coming together quite nicely. I'm going to go ahead and glue the inside down. And this is going to fit right underneath that flap. And then this whole thing is going to go on the card front, right in the center. A little layering here. And we're going to add I think I'm going to just I'm gonna peel that up. I want to attach I want the leaf, the bow.
Wow.
I want that to kind of stick out from under the label and be attached to that layer. And then I'm going to add that with a little Stampin' Dimensional. So let's get out the Stampin' Dimensionals. And we're also going to add the tag with a Stampin' Dimensional to the front of the card. So I'm just going to you want to make sure to only put it on part so that you don't glue your card closed. So I'm going to do sort of like a little triangle, and that's going to go like that. I'm so sorry you're going through this. Thinking of you. And if you
Oh,
needed more space to write a message, you could add another panel here, or like I said, you could put that on a larger card base, but I kind of like that.
very nice, Jay.
Thank you. I was debating on some bling. I feel like we could put something in the center of the flower. And I need your advice here, Mom. This is the new adhesive back to solid gems. It comes in lemon lolly, boho blue, and pecan pie. And I thought about adding like a little blue to the center of the flower, but is that too much blue? Should I do something like an iridescent pearl or rhinestone instead to set it off?
I think a lighter blue would be okay in the center, but of course, I think any little embellishment, either an iridescent rhinestone or the iridescent pearl, would work well there as well. So it's really a personal choice at this point.
I think that a white dot might be a nice
Oh,
way to
yeah,
kind of,
there is a matte white dot that we have too.
yeah, I still haven't gone through my embellishments. So we have plastic dots with a white. Oh, here's what I was looking for. I think just a little bit of the iridescent pearl is gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah,
good.
I
So
think
let me
that'll
just
be good. Yeah, very nice.
pop one of those on really quick. Are those? Yeah, they are different sizes. So there is a larger one. Oh, get back on there. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's it. Very nice.
Oh,
Very
I
good.
have more samples to show. Okay, so I've gotten a lot of swaps using this suite, and a lot that use this paper. And so I'm just going to show you some of them. We're not going to go through all of them. This first one is from Kathy Miller, and so she's die cut those layered kind of labels, including the embossing folder in there and stamping on the boho blue. Here's one that I did where I used the embossing folder. I don't know how well you can see it in the plastic. I used the embossing folder on that designer paper for
Oh,
a
yeah.
little texture. And then it's also kind of hard to see in the lighting, but I stamped in navy on navy for the border around there. Here's one where I used different patterns of the designer paper. I just love the way those coordinate together. Some misty moonlight in there, hoping for better days ahead. Here's one from Kay Kaltoff using the crumb cake again, embossed in the background, and then the die cut label. This label also comes from that same set. And then finally, this one from Anne Clemmer. I love how she just used that stamp just kind of as a background. She didn't die cut it at all and just sort of layered on top of it. And I like how she incorporated that design.
Very nice.
So beautiful. I can't wait to see what you've created, Mom. So I'm going to switch the camera around so you can share your project.
All righty then. So I'm using Misty Moonlight. And so my card base is 11 inches by 4 1/4, and it's scored at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. Take this up there. Then I have 2 pieces of basic white. I'm cut the same size, 5 1/4 by 4. And I'm going to die cut those with the die. 4 1/4 by 2 3/4 is this little piece of designer series paper, which is the back side of this one. And then I also just cut a little strip 4 1/4 by 1/2 inch. I went ahead and did my greeting, and I took a piece of the Misty Moonlight and I embossed it with the embossing folder, and then stamped Celebrate You, which will go on there. So I'll put that down. All right, so this is yeah, let's do it this way. All right, so I'm going to find my, oh, you know what? I didn't score this. Let me get my scoring thing. Woo, who's that? All right. My apologies. Normally I score these ahead of time. All right, so I'm scoring this at, what did I say? 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. Okay. So get this cutting tool out of the way, 2 3/4. And 5 1/2. All right. Don't need that anymore. So we're going to fold this back and fold this back. I love this little Z fold. There we go. All right, so now on this one of these white ones, I'm going to stamp. So say a prayer. Just make sure it's well inked. And I guess I should have brought out the stamparatus.
Well, technically.
Oh, yes. I see. Yeah. All right. So here we go. So we're going to stamp this. Ta-da. I don't care that it's a little crooked because I'm going to die cut it out. So through the magic of television, there it is. And I also went ahead and did the other white piece, and we're going to stamp on this one a little bit. So it's time to Celebrate You, and I've got the best is yet to come. And I went ahead and got out Dainty Delight because I was looking for something kind of like this to kind of go along this edge here. And then I'm taking my little blender pen and just kind of pulling some of the ink from the petal and filling in the little, I'm not sure if these
Oh,
are,
I love that.
I'm not sure if they're buds, if they're leaves, whatever they are, they're getting filled in. There we go. All right. So that, ladies and gentlemen, because I've already done the front greeting. So we're done with that. Close my ink because I know that makes Julie crazy. And oh, this is way too big, but that's all right. I'm going to go ahead and put this down. Where's my kind of next to the fold. Right about there. And get out my snips. And then we're going to go ahead. Now, this is where it might get a little tricky. I'm going to put this down here. Oh, I hope you can you hear my phone ringing?
No.
Good. Because it's ringing. Do a little trimming here. There we go. You know what I've got to remember to do is put that phone on do not disturb when we're filming.
Mm.
And it won't ring. And they're calling back. So we're going to ignore them.
Oh,
All right. So what I want to do is I want to lay this here like so. And lay this in here like so, but I want them to line up. So I think what I'm going to do is
put the bottom one down first, and then you can center the other one over it.
Exactly. I'm just trying to make sure I have that. Phone ringing just threw me off here. Okay, so I'm
Oh,
going to down here. This is very similar to your card, Julie, when you were making yours. I went, oh, yeah.
oh, I think it looks pretty different.
All right, so let's do this right about there. And then we're going to fold this. Put this right about here. And just, oh, wait a minute. This is the side I want. The other one was crooked. All right, so we'll do this. And then we're just going to line this up like so. Ta-da. And now
Nice. I love with the Z fold that you can see the front and the inside at the same time when it's open.
Yeah, I do too. So I'm going to put this guy in here like so. And then get some dimensionals for our Celebrate You. Huh, I could give this to Claire for her graduation.
Yes.
Okay. This in the middle here. And of course it needs some bling. So I've chosen to bring out the iridescent pastel gems. And there is a blue one. So I'm going to take some of the little guys and put them on my Celebrate You. one here. One over here. No, actually, I want this one here. Move you over. Maybe there. I'll put you down here. And there it is.
Oh, so pretty.
Fun
I
little
love
fun.
I love how simple the Z fold is, but it's just something a little different and fun.
Yeah. So, oh, I have one card to share. Once I find it, there it is. This is a Hostess Club project that we did.
Ooh.
So we embossed the card front, and then on boho blue with Knight of Navy stamped our image and then die cut it, and then stamped a smaller piece of the designer series paper. Used some of the in color kind of glossy dots.
Uh-huh.
View, which is also one of my favorites. And then the inside, we just did a little flower and leaf from the Lasting Joy,
Nice.
just to cut a little peek in there. So those were that was my Hostess Club. That's the only other sample I have to show right now.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Shall we flip the cameras and show off our
Yeah. Let's countryside in. I guess I'll have to go to England myself and find out how accurate the countryside in.
I'll go with
Um,
you. Oh, yeah. And I know y'all might be getting just tired of listening about my upcoming trip. So we're done.
Well, I mean, how often do you get to travel, right? Like it's exciting and it's a big trip too. You're going to be gone for a while, so
2 weeks, yeah.
I know you're having a blast, and I can't
Yeah.
wait to hear all about it when you get home. Our next video next week. No, we're gonna be together,
Yes.
but we haven't filmed it yet. So I'm excited. The next one will be us in the same room at the same time, stamping together.
Yay, 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 yay.
That doesn't
Yeah.
happen very often. So it's always so much fun when we get to craft together. And possibly, I won't make any promises, we possibly could have a potential special guest with us. So we'll see how that works out with filming. But be sure to tune in next week as well as every Sunday at noon Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on our weekly videos.
Yes, please do. So until next Sunday stamping with Susan and Julie, have a great week, everybody.
Bye. Bye, Mom. Love you.
Love you too, Jay. Bye-bye.